Okay, so today we are going to be making these cute watercolor cards with our Cricut and the Cricut Watercolor marker and brush set. So I'm going to be using all of these in here. And then I'm using the watercolor cards that are R40, the 4 3/4 by 6.6 inch, and a 2x2 card mat with my Cricut Explore. But you can use a Cricut maker if you want, and then you'll just need some paper towel to blot your paint marker that comes in this box. So we're going to get in the Cricut design space. I'm going to show you how to switch things up in there to make the designs to do this, and then we're going to draw them and have some fun, turn them into watercolor. Okay, so first we are going to look at how to design these cards in Cricut Design Space. There are specific images that you can use that are made for the watercolor, but you can really do a whole lot of different images. Let's see, so I'm going to go into my stuff, and these are the ones that we are going to be doing here. And so I will have this as a link below that you can grab it and do these ones that are already done. But I just wanted to show you how to do it if you wanted to do a different image yourself. So I'm just going to move these over. Okay, so my cards are the R40, 4.75 by 6.6. So I'm going to add a shape on that shape tool, and then I'm going to resize it to that size. So I'm going to change this to 4.75 and this to 6.6. Okay, and then I'm going to change it to a guide. So up here under basic operation, you can come down and it says guide right here. And what that does is it makes just the outline of the guide, and it won't be involved in your cutting. So if you were to go to cut out, none of these will be here just because they're guides, kind of like all these marks here on the screen. So what I'm going to do is we are just going to go find an image over here, click on images, and let's just browse. So the best images to use are going to be ones that the lines don't touch each other, like something like this, where you have distinct lines where it's going to be red, so you can pull in the watercolor there. So a lot of the designs are great. If you want to look at the ones that are specific, you can come over to project type over here on the left and click that and just click on for watercolor markers. Then you can see a whole bunch of images come up just for the watercolor markers. And this is where I got the roses. Okay, so you can find any of these. The other option is to go up to draw only. And a lot of these images you can also use. Okay, so you can go through and kind of find whichever one you want. I'm going to show you how to do this tulips one. So I'm typing in tulips bouquet up at the top in the images. And this is the one that I got here. Okay, so I'm going to add this to canvas. Okay, so this comes in and you can see over here on the layers panel, all the different layers here. And what I'm going to do, I don't want that back one because I don't want it to cut out. I'm going to put this on the front of a card. So I'm actually just going to click on this one and then click my backspace button so that deletes. Okay, so for all of these in here, I want to change them to the color of the watercolor markers I will be using. So I'm just going to click on actually each layer over in the right-hand side. I find that just easier than clicking on the image itself. So I'm going to click on the tulips bouquet, and this is kind of the outline of the paper. And then up here is where we are going to change our markers. So you're going to click on that square color and come down to marker, and then down at the bottom of the marker are all of our watercolor. So I'm just going to turn this to brown watercolor, and then I'm going to click on the next layer over here, which is that bow. And again, I'm going to go down to marker, and this, I think I will make it purple. And then this part is the green part. So again, I have to click on marker, and then I'm going to do green watercolor. And so this is actually the color of the tulips. I'm going to go into marker. What color we want to make them? We'll go red. Okay, and then kind of the outline, which are those stars. Again, go to marker, go all the way down, and we're going to go to yellow. Okay, so that's all done. And it's already attached, so I don't need to do anything. So I'm just going to move it over kind of in my guide here. You can resize it to whatever size you want. And then I'm just going to add the wording. So I'm just going to go into phrases, and let's type on Mother's Day. So a lot of these you can use. You just want to have something that has a little bit of thickness to it. Something like this, you wouldn't be able to watercolor in there, but you can always just write this with a regular pen. So you can switch up your pens in there and do whatever you want. So let's just find a cute saying here. Oh my God. Okay. So we're going to come down here. I'm going to use this one here. And so it's M24023A76. If you wanted to use the same one, I'm going to click on it and add it to my canvas. Okay, so we're going to put it up here. I'm just going to drag on those edges to kind of size it how I want. Okay, so for any of the ones that come in here that aren't already in pen, this is a basic cut. So I want to do with it is actually change it to a pen or a draw. So I'm going to come down and click on that pen there, and you'll see it does all of the outlines. And what I want to do is change these colors. So if you come over to our layers panel here, you'll see that the heart is a different color than the rest of them. So I'm going to click on the heart, and we are going to change this again by clicking on that square, going into the marker, and coming down to the watercolors. I am going to match that with the red. Okay, and then I'm going to click on all the other ones, and we are just going to do this one, change it to marker, and we'll do brown to match that brown down there. Actually, let's make it purple. Okay, so I have that there, so I'm going to, that's still in a group. I'm just going to align these. So I'm going to click on that one, hold my shift, click on this one, and then come up to align and center them horizontally. Okay, and that's about the size I want for the front of the card. Okay, I like it that way. So now I'm just going to come over here and click on attach. Okay, so now it will draw exactly how that is. Okay, I'm just going to delete that one off since we have it. And then I'm just going to do this one. And this one I did the same way. It was a cut font. It was a cut image, so I just brought it in and changed these all to draw, and then changed each one to the color that I wanted. Okay, so these are ready to go. I'm just going to save these. I'm just going to hide that one, and we're going to go to make it. Oops, and you can see what happened here. This actually was not attached. So I'm going to come back here, click on this one, and come back and attach this. Okay, so now it will be how it's supposed to be. So now we go to make it. Okay, there we have our two cards, and I'm going to change this to on card matte. Okay, so now it switches to those, and then my material size is already on R40 because my images are too big to be anything else. So it selected that. But if not, you can come over here and change it. Okay, so I like how that looks. So we're going to hit continue. I'm going to connect it to my machine and start making these cards. Okay, so now it's connected to my Explorer. So I'm actually going to browse materials. And I always just type in what I'm looking for up in that search bar. So I just typed in watercolor and clicking on watercolor cards, click on done, And it says move the wheels to the center of the rail, making sure that they align. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna push on my wheels here. Actually, I want them to go down the middle of this. I'm gonna push them over. Okay, so that's just so the wheels don't go over any of our ink and smear it. So I'm gonna remove these from my 2x2 mat here. And again, I am using these R40 cards. Okay, open it up, and we're gonna slide it underneath. That plastic backing, and since these are so big, they're sometimes a little bit tricky to get in there. Okay, and push it all the way up and over. Okay, so I'm gonna load this in my machine, and then I'm just gonna follow all of the prompts in Design Space. So right now, it is telling me to load my yellow watercolor. I'm just gonna take out my yellow, open my A clamp, and just push that right in there. Close it, and then press the blinking light. Okay, so you'll notice it paused, and then I'm getting a prompt to put in my green pen. So I'm gonna remove my yellow, put in the green one. Again, not unloading anything, and then just pushing that blinking light. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep doing that. When it pauses, I'm gonna change the pens out until everything's done writing. Okay, so it's all done, and my load button was blinking, so unloading the mat. Okay, and then we're just going to remove them from the mat. And my mat is new, kind of sticky, so. So I just have a paper towel, and I have my water brush filled with water. So all you do is take off that top and put water in it. Okay, so to get it going, you just squeeze it a little bit and press on a paper towel, and you'll see that water starts coming out of it. And then what we want to do is pull on spots and pull that ink in. So I'm just gonna do these yellow spots first. Okay, and then when you're changing colors, you just want to come back and kind of squeeze on it a little bit, and the water will take that ink right out. Okay, so let's do the red one. So I'm just gonna come up here and pull some of that ink in there. And the skinny parts are definitely a little bit trickier. so you don't have to fill them in. You can do whatever you want. Okay, and then again, to change the ink, I'm just going to come over here and squeeze and dab, 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 and you'll see how it goes from red to clear again. I'm going to come over here and do the green. And I'm going to bring some of the green behind it too. Okay, then get that out, do some purple. Okay. So again, just squeezing on it and pushing it there. Now we'll just get some of that brown. So anytime you just touch it, it kind of just starts pulling that in. And if you accidentally touch another color, depends on if you want to bring it in or not, just dab back on it for me to get that purple out. Okay, so there we have that one. See how cool that looks? Just watercolor. I'm gonna let it dry, but you can kind of go, you can bring as much in or as little, totally up to you. So I'm just gonna finish this one, doing it the same way. And then we'll have all of our cards.